Welcome to the Eddie Lamb Show. We dedicate this podcast to interviewing musicians of every kind, as well as online content creators on social media. Whether if they're starting out or if they're already on the rise and still growing, this show is all about having a fun conversation with our guests, talking about their favorite things that relate to their passion for their projects. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's have that conversation. If there's one important thing social media has brought to our advantage, it's promoting local businesses and cool get-togethers, especially for the community in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Our next guest is from there. Her name is Destiny Funk. She's a Canadian social media content creator who not only talks about the local hotspots and gatherings, but she also does commentary traveling down memory lane to chat about nostalgic Much Music programs, popular Canadian musicians, and much more. Hello, everybody. So our guest for today is all the way from Winnipeg, Manitoba here in Canada. And we followed each other initially on TikTok and Instagram. And I've been enjoying her content. And she's appeared on my live streams quite a few times. Check out my musical content. But now we are here, getting to know this amazing content creator of all the cool things she's done in her home province in Manitoba and promoting really cool things such as Canadian pop culture nostalgia. And that really got my attention too, because all the stuff she's talked about has been one of the coolest things on why did it have a cool impact on Canada and what happened to it now. Just things like that is so amazing. So without further ado, we're going to get to know about this amazing content creator. Her name is Destiny Funk. Welcome to the show, Destiny. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great, and thank you for having me on.
No, of course. It's always a pleasure to meet other fellow content creators such as yourself. How did you get into doing content creation on both TikTok and Instagram in the first place?
I'm actually not sure. I never actually saw myself doing content in any degree. I've always wanted to be in some vein of entertainment. And I had started out with acting in 2023 and working on film sets, even just in the background.
Nice.
I just kind of found that wasn't really, pulling me in that direction. Once I started getting into it, I just didn't feel much fulfillment in there.
Yeah.
So I actually started doing content creation just lately in November of 2024 in order to get more comfortable in front of the camera for self-tape auditions, because I was finding myself pretty rigid in front of the camera, which was killing auditions for me. And then it kind of just went from there that I just decided that it was a lot nicer to not have to follow a script and be somebody I'm not by trying to embody a character.
Yeah.
Because I find it just a lot
easier
to be myself and the many characters that come within myself.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of just like all over the place. Like I didn't have a niche. It took me about a month and a bit to kind of, I would say almost 2 months to even like pick a niche, so to say.
Yeah.
I was kind of just uploading like daily life stuff, like my business, concerts I was going to, trips I was taking, and just learning the algorithm and the things that go in that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when TikTok shut down in the US for like those 12 hours.
Oh yeah, we all remember that.
Yeah, I was kind of like on the cusp of really trying to figure out what my niche was going to be. I kind of went from like random to motivational videos to I was like, that doesn't really feel like me either.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, why don't you do business or small business tips and stuff like from what you know? And I was like, I don't need to do that either. Anyways, when the algorithm shifted for that 12 hours because of the US going dark, I found that all of a sudden it was an echo chamber of Canadians on the For You page.
Yeah.
And something I've always really, really loved is Canadian everything, like CanCon music.
Yeah.
And things made here in Canada, from movies to TV shows. It's just something that I've always been interested in since a really young age, like since I was 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
So I just for funsies uploaded a video that night of me lip syncing to Woe Is Me by I down with Webster, of course.
Down with
And
Webster. What a throwback too, because like the 2010s have been, or I guess yeah, like 2010s, late 2000s have been, we've been flooded with Down with Webster's music, right? And of course their infamous remix of Rich Girl, originally by Hall & Notes, the legendary Hall & Notes, may I add, and it's been flooding our airwaves for quite some time during that era.
yeah, exactly. So first of all, first and foremost, they are one of the bands that got me into CanCon very young.
Ah,
Uh, so I love them, and they made a comeback last summer, and so I saw them a few times.
that's right.
And
Yes.
so, and anyway, so I uploaded that lip syncing video to one of the verses from "Woe Is Me," and all of a sudden it went really viral overnight, and I was like, "What the heck? Like, since when does anybody care about CanCon on TikTok? It's mostly inundated with US content and artists from everywhere but Canada for the most part, unless you're talking about like Drake or The Weeknd."
Yeah.
Um, After that, everybody kind of just decided for those couple of months there, like we're only going to engage with Canadian content creators, and I was like, oh, so this might be like my in to niche down on something that I actually really like that everybody cares about right now because the patriotism for Canada is an all-time high.
That's right.
So I just kind of dove into that. I made a lot of like lip sync videos for simplicity to Canadian music.
Yeah.
I did a lot of throwback videos, and then I started pivoting into just a lot of different things like movies and shows made here. What happened to so and so? I haven't done that in a very long time because it takes a lot of work to do that one, and I find that the outcome isn't as great as my spur of the moment recordings.
Yeah.
I'll get back to it at some point. But yeah. So anyways, it just kind of snowballed from there. And then I dabbled in like Canadian politics around the election.
Yeah.
And it just really took off from there.
Yeah, and going back to what you were talking about when you were doing the "Where Are They Nows" for Canadian pop artists, like how did you manage to do so much research on that? Like, was there a lot of connections you had where you got the updates on what so and so is doing now, or did you just like dig through a rabbit hole online, or how did you do it?
I just dug through a rabbit hole. Like, for example, I can't remember the videos I did. I know I did one on Victoria Duffield, which really took off, which is why I continued the series. None of them did as good as that one, which is fine.
Yeah.
But basically, like Google's your best friend. Social media is your best friend when it comes to researching things. Like, I just looked up Victoria Duffield, and it showed that she had pivoted to real estate. So then
That's right. And she's right here in BC, right here in Vancouver, BC, which is our I guess she's one of our big provincial claim to fames on that part during that time. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I think she does a lot of her work in Abbotsford and Fraser Valley.
That's right. Yes. So for those who don't know about Vancouver, there's a town called Abbotsford, which is about a 45-minute drive from Vancouver, BC. So if you want to know what it is, it's one of those faraway towns. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. And to answer your question, no connections, just a lot of self-research. Honestly, it's just Google and YouTube videos and seeing, are they present on social media, and if the answer is yes, are they posting now, things like that.
Right on. And has Victoria Duffield reached out to you and said, hey, thanks for doing the video about what I'm doing now?
Oh,
she has. Really?
She has. Right. Shortly after it was posted, she actually reached out thanking me for highlighting what she's doing now in a positive way, because it's so easy for content creators or blogs or what have you to kind of make it as if like a pop star fell from grace and they're doing a regular job now. So she was very appreciative that it was done in such a positive way, and that it also highlighted what she is doing now, especially because it went viral. She followed me and everything. She's very kind.
That's amazing. And honestly, like the way, because when I saw that video, the way you do those "Where Are They Now" videos, I was fascinated by that, because often when people do Where Are They Now, they make these artists look like chumps, like has-beens, washed up hooligans, right?
Right.
And it often involved, like they make it sound like as if some big scandal was involved in it, but clearly not for some cases too, right? And people choose to close one chapter of their career and they move on to something else because you know what? There's a reason why. And sometimes we don't have to know the reason why, but they just go into a different field. And if they're happy where they are and they know this is where they're meant to be, then why stop them?
I agree. And I think a lot of misconception that comes with artists that no longer are in the spotlight is that, oh, they failed. So that's why they left. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes what they intended for didn't work out. But sometimes it's like any other job. You do
Yeah.
it for a bit and maybe you decide it's just not what you signed up for, or it's just not fulfilling you. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that they have failed and now they're working, well, as you said, some sort of chump job. It's just a more glamorized workplace. That's all.
Yeah, exactly what it is, and at the same time too, and some people want to get away from that part of the industry because they must either experience or they saw some really horrific things, and they're like, you know what? No, I can't put my life at risk doing this kind of thing. I'm out of here. And you know what? Very, very valid.
Absolutely. And that's definitely a factor. And I also just think not everybody is cut out for, you know, I don't want to say success because even on a small scale, if you've already put yourself out there as a creative artist, you are successful. But not everyone is cut out for, Britney Spears level fame where you're constantly touring and you're not sleeping and you're making an album and you're dancing. Like it's very tiring. And personally, I wouldn't be able to do a tour life. I would not be able to be an artist like someone like Tate McRae going across the world, dancing every night while singing and then also getting in the studio. I would go nuts.
Yeah. Imagine every 5 minutes you're trying to do some grocery shopping and all these fans are like, oh my gosh, it's Destiny Funk. Can I get a selfie with you? So
That too.
think about that times 100. And you only just got into the front entrance of your favorite grocery store.
I fully understand that. So yeah, that's why, as you said, I try to do it in a way where I'm not just saying, oh, these washed up artists are no longer doing this. That's sad. It's not that. Unless I don't even want to say unless, because even if they were falling on hard times and life didn't go the way it went, like what is the
Yeah.
point of even turning that into some sort of negative gossip?
Unless there was some sort of crime that was involved
Yeah.
that really sabotaged the whole career, anything that involves like stealing money, exploitation, backstabbing, people who do not deserve it in the first place. Then that's when we know that, yeah, that's truly more of a fall because of things like that, because it involved very terrible practices, right?
Right. There's been artists that people have requested that I have looked into, and they haven't committed any crimes or anything that I can find, but they're obviously not living the way that they wanted to, and
Right.
because of that, they have fallen on things that have exacerbated that, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to bring attention to that.
Yeah.
So I would rather just leave them alone, and people can check on them if they wish. But
Yeah.
there's some that I just won't touch because, they're not in the spotlight anymore for a reason. Why put a spotlight on someone that doesn't want it right now?
Like I said, going back to what I said earlier, the way you did those kind of where are they now videos, it's nicely done. It's positive. It's tasteful. It's amazing. And I give you so much applause for that. And I think you've shown such a prime example of what empowerment means in my personal perspective. It's like you're telling everyone, well, this is what these people you've seen in the spotlight back in the day are doing now. And you show them this is still empowering in a way because it's positive.
Well, I also think that a lot of people have this also misconception that if you're not famous or in the mainstream news or media right now, therefore you were a has-been. But I don't think anyone should be seen as a has-been. I think they should be celebrated for the impact that they had at the time when maybe they were most popular.
People prefer to keep it low-key after that era.
Yeah.
Awesome. Much respect. And again, Destiny, much respect to you on those segments. Like, I can't wait to see which other artists you do coverage for on that one.
I appreciate that. It kind of gives me a kick in the butt to do them some more. I do have quite a few artist requests that have just been sitting in the drafts for like 3 months now.
Ah,
And
gotcha.
it's just like, oh, do I do it? Like it's so much work and it's so much like I have to look into it and then structure it and then, try to keep it under 90 seconds for attention span.
Yeah, of course.
So to know that someone still likes those segments, I do want to keep doing them. It's just all the work involved. Sometimes it gets like no attention, or sometimes the Victoria Duffield circulates and it gets 300,000 views. So it's a lottery ticket, really.
Of course, but you know what though? Like, regardless of how many views it gets, I will watch it. For me, I will watch it because I like what you're doing.
I appreciate it, and it just takes one person for me to care. So I will definitely pivot back to doing some stuff like that. There's been lots that I've been meaning to do on my like content to do list, but then I get busy and I start posting current things, and there's a lot in the backlog right now. But I need to just sit down and designate time to structure things again.
Of course, yeah, and like I said, take your time on it. Good content. I feel doesn't get made at microwave speed. You know what I'm saying? And
No,
yeah, and so if you need to take some time to make it look more polished and whatever it is, do it because like you don't work for, like I'm not your boss, we're not your bosses, however you want to do things, that's up to you. And I think you're doing a pretty bang on job so far. So again, props
appreciate
to
it.
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so speaking of artists, let's talk about some of your favorite things here. What was the first concert that you've been to that you've really enjoyed as a music fan?
Oh man. Okay. First, okay. Three layers to that. First concert I've ever been to, or first concert I really liked, or first CanCon concert.
Ooh, okay. You know what? You and I being Canadians, let's talk about your first Canadian concert.
Okay, down with Webster.
Nice. And where was this at?
Um, this would have been in like 2011 at the Red River X grounds here in Winnipeg. It's
Nice.
like a micro version of like the Calgary Stampede midway. Uh,
Awesome.
I wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
I was like 13 years old. I had just discovered them on Much Music
Yeah.
from, I believe, the Your Man music video. And I heard that they were coming like a couple weeks later. And I snuck out and I went and I got in big trouble and grounded for the rest of the summer, but I don't regret it at all.
It was totally worth it, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. And okay, so how about the first concert you ever went to in general that you could remember?
That would have been Hillary Duff in like the very early 2000s.
Really? So, and was this during the time when Let the Rain Fall Down? Was it the big hit during that time?
Yeah, I think so. The tour I went to was for the Dignity album, so it
Oh,
was
okay.
right
Okay.
after like pretty much close to when Come Clean was big, but not quite the same era.
So I'm assuming you're a huge Lizzie McGuire fan.
I was as a kid, and I am. I wouldn't say I'm like a massive fan still, but I still enjoy the concept of Lizzie McGuire and everything about the show for the sake of nostalgia.
Of course, yeah. Awesome. And how? Okay, and was that third category you were mentioning?
My third case. So my three questions were favorite concert ever, favorite CanCon concert, and first concert.
Okay, yeah. So now, yeah.
Covered
So
first.
the best concert of all time that you've attended so far.
Okay, so I've been to a lot. That would have to be okay. My contenders would be Coldplay,
Okay, awesome.
um, and maybe Nicki Minaj and Usher. If I had to choose out of the three, I would say Usher.
Ooh, that's a tough one
Yeah,
because they're
I
all
go
good
to a lot.
live.
Very good. I go to a lot, but Usher is just, he's a crazy hard worker. He's an incredible performer, and he puts on a hell of a show for like 3 hours.
Yeah, and so cool that you mentioned Usher because I've mentioned it to other people before, but I'm going to say it again on this episode. That guitar solo for "You Got It Bad," it is one of the coolest solos I've ever heard.
Oh, for sure. He's not CanCon, so I can't dive too deep into him, I guess, but he's like my like all be all artist. But my big four artists outside of CanCon are Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and Usher. And I saw Usher and Nicki Minaj for the first time in my life last year.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing Lil Wayne in 2 months in Toronto. So after that, my concert bucket list is done, which is bizarre.
And Coldplay did a tour last year. Were you there? Yeah, were you there for that one?
Yeah, so I didn't go to like they've been on like the Music of the Spheres tour or something like that. I believe
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
yeah.
For the past like 3 years. So I went to that tour in Los Angeles at the end of 2023.
Nice. So, with you going to a concert down in the States, like, do you find the reaction to concerts in the States different from how Canadians watch or react to their concerts?
I mean, it really depends on the crowd, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. Yeah.
I would say no. I think excitement is just excitement across the board. It just depends
Hmm.
on what crowd you're at. Like, I went to Arctic Monkeys the night before Coldplay, and it's two different crowds because it's two different styles of music.
I would pay to see Arctic Monkeys and Coldplay on the same bill. That's just me, though.
That was fluke. I had already planned my trip to Los Angeles, and then I checked Ticketmaster, and both of those artists were playing back to back. One in Coldplay was in the Pasadena Rose Bowl, and Arctic Monkeys was at the Kia Forum in Inglewood. So
Ah, okay.
and they both of their shows were on the same night, but they were both doing back to back shows. So I went to
Yeah.
one of them.
I wonder if both those bands they got together afterwards and they just hung out and they're like, "Hey, Chris, you're in town. Oh yeah, let's hang out."
Who knows?
Talking about Coldplay too, because I remember when they came to town last year in Vancouver, Chris Martin was so generous. He actually let a musician friend of ours come up on stage and sing with him. Did you hear about this news?
I did not. I also didn't even know that Music of the Spheres made it to Vancouver.
Chris would be like, oh, hey guys, you know what? I want to see what kind of signs you guys are holding, because you know how every fan they like to hold up signs saying, you know, like "I love you, Coldplay," and whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
So this friend of ours actually held up a sign and said, "Hey, I want to perform this song with you." And then he actually saw the sign. She was at the front too, mind you. So he goes, "Oh, you want to sing the song with me? Oh yeah, come on up." And he was that generous, like like to allow to allow your fans to jam with you, you know.
Yeah, that I've seen many things with Chris Martin, and he's a very kind entertainer, and he's very crowd engaging.
You there, the blonde girl at the very front. Do you want to come sing a song with me? Yeah, come on up.
Yeah.
Here's a tambourine.
Yeah, I remember at my show he had brought up a few fans on a couple occasions. Yeah, also he brought out Selena Gomez, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, no kidding. Really? That actually happened?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the magic of being in Los Angeles, I suppose. You have so many celebrities at your disposal for guest appearances.
Wow, that's that's actually amazing. Nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Canadian pop culture, you did a video about some of our favorite programs on Much Music. One of them was Video on Trial. I loved watching that show because the way all these comedians and celebrities make fun of videos just for fun, it's just so hilarious. Like what was your experience? Like, did you really enjoy it when you as a kid when you watched it on Much Music?
Oh yeah, so I wasn't actually allowed to watch it at all as a kid. I come from a very, very religious family.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea.
But yeah, but I obviously got around it, and I used to watch that show every single day, on top of many others. But for some reason, Video on Trial just always stuck.
And Video on Trial it's almost like Ed the Sock's Fromage, but it's like their goofy little brother.
Yeah, I agree.
So, were there any comedians who stuck out to you? You're like, wow, this person's pretty funny.
I would say Deborah DiGiovanni and like Trevor Boris.
Yeah, nice.
Those two definitely like stuck in my brain for a long time. I'm trying to think of the others off the top of my head, but I cannot. But definitely those two off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I remember even that one episode where they got Josh Ramsey on there.
Yes.
And the fact that he is okay to make fun of his own videos, his band's own videos, any Mariana's Trench song that they played, he was just making jokes about his own band stuff. And you know what? I really admire that.
Yeah, so do I. I love the Josh Ramsey episodes. I believe they had him on to critique Shake Tramp at one point.
I believe they did. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's great. I can't remember if there was a specific reason why Video on Trial really stuck. I think it was just the fact that it was always the newest music videos and they were funny about it. But in hindsight, going back to make that video, I was like, oh my goodness, have we ever come far from what was allowed to be said on TV?
Yeah, and I bet you like if they did this kind of thing today, I like I don't know. I want to get your opinion on this. If they did this kind of thing today, do you think those artists, let's say the modern artists like Sabrina Carpenter or Chapel Roan or even Taylor Swift, like, do you think they would be okay with that? Like they could take a joke, be like, "Oh, that's so hilarious."
Absolutely not. I don't think anyone in this day and age could handle that type of climate whatsoever. It would be people in my comment section were saying, "Oh, bring it back," and I was like, "It wouldn't even last an episode." And some people were like, "It wouldn't even last a single music video." Like it could not survive in the climate that we're at now.
Yeah, unless let's say they do an episode on Taylor Swift videos, but they actually brought Taylor Swift on there and she can crack her own jokes about her own material.
Oh yeah, as long as they had the artist in the room, then everybody would probably be fine with it. But if it was back to the way it was, absolutely not. Because I mean, in a way that's like annoying, but at the same time, some of the things that were said were a little bit crazy, and I agree that
Yeah,
they shouldn't be said anymore.
yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
it's hit and miss, on my opinion of that.
Yeah, and somehow at the same time, South Park gets away with the humor that they have now.
Yeah, it's always people like to cherry pick what they're going to be offended over, but
Yeah,
it is what it is, and that's where we're at.
yeah. I think with South Park too, like they don't just make fun of everybody; they make fun of everything as well.
That too. Yeah, and it's like they will make fun of certain people and artists and politicians and so on, but I don't know, it's a little different. I suppose.
I felt that with Video on Trial. I don't know, like with me, when I watched it, it just made me laugh because I'm just like, I need a little bit of humor to brighten up my day sometimes, and even just seeing like the way these comedians, just have some fun with the videos. I'm like, this is pretty hilarious. Like not every video has to be taken too seriously, right? But just a little, just a little fun stuff here and there, and that's it. That's just half an hour of humor for today.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I miss it, but I think if it was brought back now, it would be so under a microscope with what they could and couldn't say, to the point where the humor would be completely lost, and the, I guess, specialness of video on trial would not be there anymore.
It would be like, if you're doing your stand-up material as a comedian, but then your mom has to supervise you to make sure you're not saying any naughty words.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be quite dull. It'd be like butter on toast. Like there's just nothing there anymore.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, and the other programs that you've touched base on too. What was that one? The one where people can go and hang out with their favorite celebrities. What was that show called again?
Oh, My Date With.
My Date With. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I think MTV did the same thing too. They call it Gonna Meet a Rock Star, and it was just any big star that they could find. And yeah. Right. So that program was pretty wild because the fact that they put so much money into their guests, they paid for their limo rides, their flights, their makeover if they wanted to get a haircut or makeup done or buy a new outfit. They pay for all that stuff, and then you meet the big rock star, whoever it may be. I mean, what was your initial thought when you saw an episode of that?
I actually completely forgot that show existed until people were commenting that as a request.
Yeah.
But I do remember watching it as a kid vaguely once I was going back through it.
Yeah.
And I think I was very young at that time. So at that point, I was probably just feeling a lot of jealousy more than thinking of the, schematics and budget that went into it.
Because imagine if they did something like that today, and think about all the clout you can get if you take a picture and show your video clips of it, put it on your Instagram, social media, TikTok, and see people's reactions to that.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. I don't think something like that would ever come around again.
Yeah, probably not. No, but it was pretty fun for what it was during that time too. But man, like I can't imagine what it'd be like just to actually leave town and meet your favorite rock star and have everything paid for.
No kidding.
So I'm really glad that you brought all the nostalgic and Much Music programs too, because like I've been to Much Music in Toronto back in 2009 for the first time, right? And I just remember
Okay.
how crazy busy that area was. And I remember it when I was there, all the fans were lining up. They've been lining up since like early Sunday morning because the Jonas Brothers were making an appearance in the afternoon. So even though the interview didn't start till 2 p.m., people have been lining up since like 7 in the morning, you know, and it's just crazy. And back in that day, uh, if you lived in Toronto, after school, you and your friends can just walk by there, hoping that you'll see your favorite celebrity hang out there.
Yeah, because they would do a lot of those interviews and stuff, especially on programs like New Music Live, for example, just in the window. You could just stand outside.
Yeah, exactly. Just wave to the camera and just put up a sign. You know,
Yeah,
I love you, so and so.
I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
miss those days a lot.
I know.
And I wasn't there.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite VJ at Much Music?
I did. I had several. One of them I will not name because she is a massive Donald Trump supporter now, I've been told.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
But I really loved Lauren Toyota and like Liz Trinier.
Or here's a little bit of a throwback. I'm not too sure. You might be too young to remember these guys, but remember Tim Deegan?
No.
Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah, that might be a bit too far back, but yeah. Um, oh, here's one for you. If you were a Much Music VJ and you had a chance to interview any celebrity you want, who's Canadian, who would it be?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think a really cool person to talk to would be Gowan.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's one. Or how about like you know what? I could see you talking to other celebrities like Lights, maybe The Weeknd if you wanted to, or like Justin Bieber. Like I don't know. For some reason, like I can see you being like a really incredible interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That actually, it's as weird as it is to say, a lot of people have said that to me over the years. I mean, I've been getting that actually since I was like 14 years old.
Oh, no kidding.
But yeah, and actually, like, when kids at school would always be doing like what you want to do when you grow up
Yeah.
projects, everybody's was always like veterinarian or kids doctor. Mine was always Much Music VJ since I was very, very young. And I kind of just, that was just a pipe dream in my head. Never actually went for it. Much Music also isn't the same as like what it used to be, which is so disappointing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of over with now. But that's why also I think that's why I enjoy what I'm doing now on a individual platform like TikTok and Instagram, where I can do things like that. And I hope to pivot to something like interviewing or having maybe my own online show with Canadian artists or bigger artists. Basically, as my platform has been growing, my goal has been to work with some form of media company. And so
Yeah.
currently I'm working now very casually with one of our local radio stations here in Winnipeg called Energy 106.
Also, big shout out
And
to them. Yeah.
big shout out to Evanov. And that's kind of my foot in the door right now. I don't know where that's going to go. I'm working in like their street team promotions department, but it's just another step in the direction of unknown, but a general idea of what I enjoy.
That's amazing. Yeah. And honestly, if you head to that direction, I look forward to seeing your interview styles because I feel like with the content that you do, I can tell you've done so much research, even just by the way you described it when you look up the info on stars on the Where Are They Now segments, right?
Yeah.
And just because like the way you do that, like you've demonstrated proper journalism, and I feel that if you're gonna be at that point where you're gonna be interviewing all these Canadian stars in the future, like I could see you just doing a killer job at it.
I appreciate that. It's definitely something that my mind has wandered to. I'm not sure if I'd want to do it solo and build that on my own, or if I'd want
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
into some place where I can do it with a background,
yeah,
but we'll see.
yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, and it's gonna happen, I'm sure, if you're heading to that direction. So yeah.
Something in that realm, whether it's media or promotions, I don't know. None of this has been planned. everything has always been in the vein of interest since I was a young child, but
Nice.
I never pursued it. I
Yeah.
haven't gone to any form of media school or marketing school or anything. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
And connections are everything. And I'm hoping they don't fall through. But the lead singer of Down with Webster reached out because they'll be in Calgary and I'm going out in a couple of weeks from a marketing agency that's bringing me out. Shout out to them
Awesome.
for their show. And he reached out saying, like, hope you can come basically and like remind me closer to the date and we'll get a hangout and a video in. So I'm like, okay, well, I hope that doesn't fall through because then I'm hoping I can even sneak in some questions I've been having at that point.
There you go. Some burning questions that you can ask to Down with Webster. So we're going to open our eyes and look out for that.
Yes, hopefully.
Nice, nice. Down with Webster. What was the first song from them that you fell in love with?
The first song I ever heard by them was Your Man.
Yeah.
So that would be the same answer, I suppose.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's so cool with you being into artists like that, you know, and you develop this really cool relationship with them now. It's just so encouraging that, you know, when you see groups like them who engage with their fans, right? And, you know, and you can tell like they love their fans so much and they appreciate them in every way. I guess the next question I can ask you then, for you as a music enthusiast, what do you think makes a really good concert? What do you think? What qualities do you think make you think, wow, I want to go back to this show again?
Hype and production. If the production is really good and the excitement is there, it makes me want to come back for sure because it's all about the energy that the artist is giving off. The crowd can be excited as all hell.
Yeah.
But if the artist themselves isn't engaging or putting on a good show, it's like it's just lackluster and it doesn't make you really want to go back. So, for example, since they started out, like Down with Webster throws a hell of a show. Like they have insane energy.
Yeah.
They are very engaging and it just makes you want to keep going back and back and back. And then there's been shows that I've been to where it was incredibly boring. So it all depends on the artist and how much they're engaging with the crowd to make you want to go back.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying because when you spend so, I mean, look at the ticket prices right now for concerts. It's astronomically insane, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't help too. Like if someone spent tons and tons of money on this one concert that everyone was so hyped up for, and it's such a huge letdown of a performance, including the lack of engagement. You feel like you got ripped off in a way, right?
Absolutely. And like there's concerts that I've been to where the artist doesn't talk to the crowd one bit. And it's a little weird because then it just feels like I'm watching somebody. And I obviously that's what a concert is. You're just watching someone perform. But it feels like I'm watching someone perform that doesn't know that anyone else is in the room.
Yeah.
So it really does come down to like even if they're talking to the crowd. Like I went to the Ariana Grande Dangerous Woman tour in 2017. And I don't think she stopped between a single song. She didn't talk to the crowd once.
Oof.
And it was like, oh, this is weird. Like I've never been to a concert where it's just like bang, song, good night.
Yeah, and it also feels like sometimes at certain concerts you go to, it's like, well, I may as well just listen to the CD, and it wouldn't make a living difference.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So I do appreciate the artists that go the extra mile. Another great entertainer is Sean Desmond. He jumps all over that stage and he talks to people and it's great. It's very entertaining and I'm super excited that he's going on tour again pretty soon.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard Sean Desmond, it was that song "Let's Go." It goes da 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 da. Yeah, and I remember that synth sound at the beginning got stuck in my head for quite some time.
Yeah, he is quite the hit maker. We have a little bit of an age difference, but my first song I would have heard by him was Electric back in like 2010.
Okay, yes.
And Night Like This. I can't remember if that was a combination music video. No, it wasn't. They were two separate.
Right.
But they were both playing on music frequently, the two of
Hmm.
them, and that's what hooked me on his music.
So, speaking of connection to the audience, to the community, one thing I love about your channel on TikTok and on Instagram is that you are so good at promoting local businesses and local community events that happen in your town. And the way you do it is just so cool. You're like so hyped up about it. You're like, wow, hey guys, check out this new cool joint located over here in Winnipeg. How did you get such an interest to support the local businesses?
Just from a place of being a small business owner myself.
Yeah.
I run a pet care company full time. I'm one of the top in my cities, which I'm grateful for, but I've put a lot of work into that the
Mm-hmm.
past almost 6 years. And I just recognize that hard work in other small business owners, and they get overshadowed. We get overshadowed by big box and
Yeah.
bigger corporations.
Yeah.
So it's important to bring light to those and also promote them
Yeah.
as well. It just feels better. People want to support things that actually there's a real person on the other side, not a big corporation.
Mm-hmm. And is there any kind of spot that you want to just give a huge shout out to right now? Anyone that comes to mind?
Oh, I've got a million amazing small businesses here in Winnipeg, but I would give a shout out to Harrison's Coffee Co. I would give another shout out to Frenchie's Records.
Nice.
And who else can I think of off the top of my head real fast? I don't know. But there's many. There's tons here. And they're all fabulous.
Yes, they're all really
And
fabulous.
they do a lot of work.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And like I said, good on you for supporting local businesses like that. Because like you said, they deserve to be heard. They deserve to be recognized because they put so much hard work and dedication into what they do. And I think, and I know how you always mention like, and not to mention their food is just amazing. Like it's made with so much love.
Very much so. And I've also come to the realization that franchisers are raising their prices incessantly. And at this point, I can get something that's homemade and better quality and a larger portion for what's almost the same price as McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And when you put your money more towards that, you are supporting a local business run by a family or someone with a really great cool idea that wanted to be different from other people.
Hmm. Yeah, and I like it. It's innovative. It keeps people creating and it creates jobs. And it's just a lot of hard work goes into small businesses. So again, it just my support for them comes from being a small business owner myself and knowing that the exterior is what the public sees, but there's a lot of work and 24-hour detail that goes in behind the scenes.
That's right. That is so amazing. And look, and folks, even folks like Destiny here, and other people who run your local coffee shops, and whether it be in your town or wherever it may be, I just want to let you guys know that this is important to support these businesses. And just the fact that even with you, Destiny, like you put in so much effort for your pet care business, and the fact that I can tell even just from the picture that I see of you and you and the dogs is like you are so passionate about what you do. It's like you care about pets, but you also care about connecting with the community through that kind of service too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you are in the small business realm, you automatically get plunked into the community because you start meeting a lot of people like you. And even before getting into content creation, I knew a lot of small businesses just from networking within the community, really.
That's right.
And yeah, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. But for me personally, not only am I passionate about the things I do, I'm also passionate about quality.
Yeah.
So making sure that everything I do is delivered with great quality, no matter with my business or content creation.
Yeah.
And also, how can I benefit people around me within that isn't just solely about making money?
That's right. Yes, exactly that. And I guess I should ask, what tips would you give for anybody that just wants to start their own business? It doesn't matter if it's like a restaurant, a cafe, or any kind of a handy service they want to provide to the community, what would you say would help them when they're starting out?
Oh man, I would say it's not as scary as it seems to start a business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red tape at first and a lot of things to understand, especially when you're coming out of an employment situation where you've never had to be so hands-on with all of the administration stuff and the
Yeah.
things that go into it.
Yeah.
But it's not hard to learn. Give yourself some grace. And ultimately, life is short and you should take risks, calculated risks, but risks.
Yeah.
And if you have the dream of owning a business to any degree, whether that's a restaurant or you want to make crochet animals, I say go for it.
Yeah,
My
why not?
biggest advice is if you're trying to do something that is product based or esthetician based and you're not working out of a salon, the greatest place to do those things is if you can change your house or your apartment or whatever it is into a little work zone in one room and you do your services or your selling out of there because then you have little overhead costs and maximum write-off benefits.
There you go. And it takes working from home to that new level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for yourself.
There you go. Yes, exactly that. That's good. I think that's good advice, honestly. And I hope whoever's listening to this, I hope you take that to heart because it's very true, you know. And just seeing the growth that you've gone through, Destiny, it's just so cool seeing that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also promote community events in Winnipeg as well. Is there any one you're looking forward to this summer?
Oh, the Burt Block Party is coming up in August, and we're going to have 4 days of music, and it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Awesome. And who's in the lineup this year?
On August 15th, that was my most anticipated day. We're going to be having Fifi Dobson, Marianne's Trench, and Down with Webster.
Yeah, awesome.
Let me see the rest of them. I do have everybody here. On August 14th, we're going to have a country night. So, who do we have here again? We have Dean Brody, Owen Rickling, Haley Benedict, and Brandy Vizina, who is a Manitoba artist.
Yeah.
And on the 16th, we have the Glorious Sons, Everclear, JJ Wild. And on the 17th, we have Kim Mitchell, Chilliwack, and Harlequin.
And a few of those are from BC. Dean Brody's from BC. Marianne's Trench are from Vancouver as well.
They are.
And Chilliwack are also from Vancouver too. Funny, I think I've met one of the members of Chilliwack a long time ago. Really nice guy too. But very stacked lineup, as you mentioned. And when you mentioned Fifi Dobson, I'm like, man, now that's someone I haven't heard from in a very long time.
Yeah, which is so interesting to me because I've gotten that feedback quite a bit. But she did her own little tour in 2023.
Yeah.
And then she's also been touring with Albert Levine and Simple Plans for a couple months now.
Yeah, and the fact that she did a lot of cool rock songs. Some of them were pretty heavy too, actually. Like we all know Bye Bye Boyfriend was like the big hit during that time, right? But there are some other ones I've heard, like Unforgiven, which sounded like it could have been a Disturbed song, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. and yeah, some other cool hits that she's done. But it's great to know that she's still kicking around and just rocking it on stage.
She did release an album. I can't remember what it was called, but I think it was 2 years ago in 2023.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I forgot. Yeah, it was called Emotion Sickness. Yeah, it came out in 2023.
Wow, that's amazing. So big shout to Fifi Dobson for still killing it on stage. That's amazing.
She takes big breaks between album releases, but this one was one of her biggest.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. And are you gonna be on? Are you gonna be attending for all those nights?
Yes, so I will 100% be there on that night. But I'm also working as a promoter with the Burt Block Party here in Winnipeg, so I'll be promoting all the nights as well as giving away passes and attending myself.
That is cool. Awesome. And I'm sure you must be just sitting there, just like waiting, twiddling your thumbs, and you're just like, come on.
Yeah, there's a lot. We don't get a whole bunch going on here in Winnipeg when it comes to concerts and entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's nice when we do get stuff like this. And I do miss the times where we were a major hub for artists to stop in. And
yeah,
hopefully that comes back. But it's been a dry spell for a while.
Now that's awesome. Are there any other festivities that are happening in Winnipeg that you want to mention to the people here?
Oh man, there are so many things going on. I'm really excited that we are the host of the Grey Cup this November.
That's right.
Uh,
Yes, you are.
yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's been 10 years since our last hosting. I think it's every 10 years that they go to the next city, I believe, right?
I believe so.
So it's
Yeah,
like every
yeah,
10 years they return to your city, I should say.
yeah.
Yeah, so the last time they were here was in 2015. I usually go for the halftime shows. I don't know who that's going to be this year, but 10 years ago it was Fall Out Boy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, okay. How about this then as a question? If you were to book an act to perform at the halftime show this year, who would you pick?
I would want to pick a Canadian band or artist because I've noticed that the CFL is pulling some American artists, which is kind of confusing to me because last
Yeah,
year like, we had the Brothers, I think.
that's right. Yeah.
So I would say for the sake of Canadianism, it'd be nice to see someone like Simple Plan up there
Yes. Yes. I would agree with that.
or Billy Talent, someone along those lines.
Oh, who else could we add in there? I mean, we could. Who else is pretty exciting? Oh, I know. How about Biff Naked?
You know what? I don't think I've actually heard a single Biff Naked song, although I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I will show you some of her stuff, so you might get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I do know the name. I just have never heard any of her music.
No worries. I'm sure that if I play you some of her big hits, you'll be like, oh yeah, that one. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure. There's a lot of songs that I know that I just never like maintained who the artist was.
yeah. That's true. Yeah. Awesome. Well, those are good answers though. Like I would if you were to pick those bands and they were playing the Grey Cup halftime show, I would definitely go see them.
Yeah, I would like us to be as the CFL choosing Canadian acts for the Grey Cup because I don't like as far as I'm concerned, we haven't had a Canadian perform at the Super Bowl at
Yeah,
least for a very long time.
minus the weekend because I think the weekend did the Super Bowl. I think was it 2021? I believe 2022, somewhere around there.
Oh, let me see, because I wouldn't have paid attention around the pandemic times. Yes, 2021. I'm surprised they had the Super Bowl in 2021.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, so and that was the thing because when the weekend performed there, when they announced it was going to be the weekend, I was just like, oh, they're getting a Canadian act to play the Super Bowl halftime show, and it doesn't happen too often.
No.
But when it does, like we Canadians make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, because it's a lot more common for Americans to cross into the Canadian entertainment sector than it is for Canadians to cross into the American side.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's very true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been, I feel, quite a while since we've had a Canadian halftime performer here. I don't know. I need to go through our history, that's for sure.
Well, honestly, you've done a really good job being our Canadian pop culture historian so far. So I trust that whatever facts you want to throw at us on your next videos, we will be tuning in and listening to it.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm also just scrolling through the history of the CFL halftime show. It looks like in 2022 we had Tyler Hubbard,
Yeah. Oh,
which I can't
really?
remember. Yeah, I cannot remember if he's Canadian or not because I know he's coming to Winnipeg for Country Thunder. Nope, he is American.
Oh,
He's coming
okay.
to Winnipeg for Country Thunder in a couple of weeks, actually. But
No kidding.
yeah, but in 2021 we did have Arkells, and they are 100% Canadian. So we know that.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, my wife and I saw them live years back, I think in like the early 2010s, and they were just amazing live. Like
Arkells.
yeah, yeah. And the lead singer
Yeah.
is just so phenomenal. Like, you know how we were talking about audience connection earlier today, right? Like, he
Yes.
gets an award for that.
Yeah, he's great. I saw him by fluke in Toronto last year. I went to the Outer Banks premiere event, and Arkells was the band performing there.
That's so
And
amazing.
he kicked down into the crowd with pizza, so he's very engaging.
He feeds you pizza. There you go.
Yeah, he can't be more engaging than that.
Oh my goodness! You know what's so funny? A long time ago, you just remind me. It's a long time ago. I did a show with my band Cry of Silence. It was like back in 2019, and what happened was at work we had a work function, and then after that we had all these leftovers, and so we had an unopened box of these chocolate date squares from Costco. And so I was playing with my band on that same night. It was a Friday night. So after I was off duty from work, I decided to take it with me, and we just gave them away at my band's merch table.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And everyone just went nuts over it. They're like, whoa, there's chocolate date squares. And they all just grabbed it, and then it was all empty already.
Free food will get you, man.
Yeah, it will. I feel like every band should give away some sort of treat or food, snacks, desserts, whatever it may be. That could,
Yeah.
that could work. Or how that same thing, how Taylor Swift is known for baking cookies. I think that she had that one get together at her place, at her very own house, where a bunch of these fans, they come over, they all hang out, and then you get to bake cookies with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I believe I remember something like that. It was like a tea party aspect.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I have a few friends who are huge Taylor Swift fans, so I'm sure they have more information on those details.
Yeah, I know she was doing those at her shows, like as a VIP thing during the Speak Now and the Red tours, but I think she's too big now to be doing anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or she could just hire someone to do it for her.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you follow the recipe correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But speaking of recipes, we talk about the local restaurants, the cafes, and other handy services and all that. Just getting to know you a bit more, too. What is your favorite food right now as we speak?
I have ADHD, so my favorite food changes by the week. At the moment, though, it always kind of plateaus with sushi. Big sushi person.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, it's really like a favorite roll or...
Oh, I'm into the spicy ones. So I like salmon bakudon and anything that has like tempura crumbs and hot sauce.
Oh, good choice. I think mine would probably be like the spicy scallop roll.
Mm.
Yeah, that's my personal favorite. So, do you have a favorite movie that you enjoyed watching?
I do not have a specific solo movie, but I am a big Lord of the Rings person.
Which one do you think is the best? Return of the King, Two Towers, the first one?
Return of the King.
Ah, yes. The Oscar award-winning Return of the King.
Exactly. I just find that it has the most epic amount of battles and, the story comes to a head there.
Yeah, because like how many battle scenes were there simultaneously? There was like 3, 4, 5 of them happening at the same time?
Something like that.
Yeah, and that whole bit where Orlando Bloom goes on and takes down a giant elephant.
Yeah, there's just so many epic things that happen in one movie. But the whole series as a whole is my favorite. So I'm asking what my favorite movie is. I'm like, well, it's a favorite trilogy, more like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good choice. And I remember like the first time I saw Lord of the Rings at the theater. Like I was sitting through Fellowship of the Ring with one of my high school buddies. So we finished watching it. We sat through 3 hours of that. And then when it hit the ending, I'm like, wait, like what? Like what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
And then because I came in watching that movie without knowing about the novel, right? I knew it was based on a novel, but I didn't know how long the story was going to be. And so when I realized like, oh, wait, there's going to be a sequel, but then when is it coming out? That was the bigger question, because I was so hooked onto it after watching Fellowship of the Ring. And I'm like, and then I hear, oh, it's not going to be out until next year. I'm like, dang it. I don't want to wait a whole year. Like, I want to watch it now. But, it was well worth the wait though. Because when I saw Two Towers, I saw it with a bunch of friends and loved it. Same thing a year after that, watched Return of the King. Blown away by that movie as well, and again, definitely worth the wait, and definitely worth inviting a bunch of your friends to watch it with in the theaters.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm mostly grateful that I wasn't old enough at the time to have to go through the time elapsed between movies, but I'm also sad that I wasn't cognitive at that young age to understand how culturally significant in the film industry and exciting that was while those movies were rolling out, because I was like 2, 3, 4 years old as they were coming out. But I got into them. My mom was a big fan of them my whole life, so I was introduced very young, but I only became like a devout fan of them in my middle school years. And I guess the only thing that kind of compared to the significance of that rollout would have been the Hobbit follow-up, which I was cognitive and old enough to actually like understand what I was seeing in theaters and how exciting that was.
Okay, so that's the one I haven't seen yet. Was the Hobbit trilogy any good?
Yeah, I would say I used to fluctuate back and forth based on which one I was watching, which trilogy I liked more, but definitely hands down as I'm getting older, Lord of the Rings remains supreme. But the
Yes.
Hobbit has its own fun and lore to it that obviously connects to Lord of the Rings, and
Yeah.
definitely more of a fun series than it is serious, although it has its moments. And I think it's just a good time and place if you want something a little bit more, I don't know, whimsical rather than so serious.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'll need to watch the Hobbit series one day.
Yeah, you should.
You know what, Destiny, we have reached the conclusion of our interview. We've been talking for almost over an hour now.
It does not feel like that. It's gone by very fast.
Before we sign out for the day, can you tell people how we can find you on the interwebs?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Destiny_funk. You can find me on TikTok at Destiny.funk. And that's it. But that is where you can find me. That is where you can see what I'm up to, what kind of content I'm posting, mostly CanCon if you're into that. And yeah, hopefully I'm going to keep growing both platforms and go for nationwide domination.
Well, there you go, guys. And that whole nationwide domination starts with you, the audience. So make sure you give Destiny the follow that she deserves. If you want to check out content related to Canadian pop culture history, local communities in Winnipeg, Manitoba, local businesses in that same area as well, make sure you check out Destiny's channels on Instagram and TikTok. Both those channels deserve all the love, and make sure you send her a message and say hi, leave a comment, whatever it may be. She will appreciate it. So with that being said, thank you so much again, Destiny. Thank you for coming to the show. I hope you enjoyed yourself today.
Absolutely, I did. And thank you again for having me on.
No problem. And to everybody else out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Eddie Lam Show, a podcast dedicated to interviewing musicians and online content creators of every kind. If you would like to be a guest on the program, feel free to send me an email at eddielammusic@gmail.com. That's EDDIELAMmusic@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out my website at eddielammusic.ca. That's EDDIELAMmusic.ca. You can also follow me on social media. Username is Eddie Lam Music. That's EDDIELAM Music on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning into our program. In the meantime, stay in touch, stay safe, and as always, stay awesome.